Okay, so now here we have some of the scenario-based question. Okay, so now here, one device has been showing as non-compliance uh, because like it is missing BitLocker. Okay, so now here we have uh, a device is showing as non-compliance. Okay, because BitLocker, we need to check the policy, like BitLocker encryption policy, whether what is that devices have been applied or not. Still, if the device is having complaints with the BitLocker, still it is showing as a non-compliance. Okay, user is telling BitLocker has been encrypted on my device. Okay, so then how to troubleshoot? Okay, so now user is telling that device has been BitLocker encrypted, but still the device is showing as the non-compliant kind of device. Okay, so in this scenario, so first we need to check that what are the policies we have applied on that device, and on that user and group also what are the devices have been applied or not, and the minimum like a versions, all those also are up to date or not also we need to confirm whether that the OS versions, all those also up to date, we have that OS versions or not. Okay, so that is also we need to check on that device wise we need to confirm. Okay, so then we need to confirm even the the minimum version is there or not. Like if that compatible versions are not there also, like it's maybe showing as non-compliance itself, it is showing. Okay, then we need to check that what exactly the system requirements also is there or not. Any legacy bias is there, and even trusted platform modules on the device wise we required TPM modules are required, and we need to check the Intune policies also have been applied properly or not. Then, we can run the PowerShell command also, gitbot, git, a BitLocker volume also. We need to check that. So sometimes that key issues also may be the problem. The recovery key also may be the problem. And the drive health also we need to scan if you have any bad sectors or partitions also. If you have any problem also, we may have the issues, and we need to check from the event log also, because mostly BitLocker we are going to enable for the Windows devices. We need to check the event viewer also. We need to check that. So then, like in the BIOS settings, we need to enable TPM need to be enabled. Then Intune policies we need to check, and we need to recover the TPM protector or recovery key. Then we need to reboot the device and check, and any partition issues or any disk issues also we have, then again sync those devices again. So with these steps we need to troubleshoot. Okay, so then I think already we discussed that how to enable multi-factor authentication for the um, Outlook or Microsoft uh, like we need the Intune wise we need to deliver multi-factor authentications for the Android or iOS devices. We need to provide the multi-factor authentication need to be enabled. So we need to enable the multi-factor authentication. So then we need to check that on the AD level also whether that multi-factor authentication has been enabled or not. We need to confirm from the AD level. We need to confirm whether that a multi-factor authentication has been enabled or not. We need to confirm, and even we need to check that application level also we have configured those policies are enabled for the multi-factor authentication. We need to confirm once, and on that user also we need to confirm whether that multi-factor authentication we are going to enable. Okay, so and which type of authenticator app, those also we need to confirm which type of authenticated device, all those also we are enabling also. We need to check that. Say if we want to enable the multi-factor authentication, so these are the things we need to confirm whether we are going to enable the multi-factor authentication need to be enabled or not. And once we check that, Office 365 and licenses also we need to check, and it should be integrated with Azure Active Directory also. Then in the Azure Active Directory or Entra ID security, MFA need to be enabled, and we need to apply one conditional policy per user MFA need to be enabled. Then, we need to select that apps and all those. We need to select Office 365 apps. We need to select, and we need to give the permissions also. This policy we need to apply, and in the Intune wise also, so we need to apply the compliance policy. Then MFA need to be enforced through that company policy, need to be enforced. Then, in the conditional access, we need to provide, if the required device to be compliant, it required MFA. So these all we need to set up. Then on the device wise, like maybe Android device or we need to download the Microsoft Outlook app. Then we need to sign up with the Microsoft 365. Whenever it is prompting for the MFA, we need to use the authenticator app. From this, we need to provide that authentication. Okay, so that's we need to verify these all the things we need to verify. Okay, so then we are deploying the application like it's a while installing that at the 50% application is getting failed. So that means we have deployed the application and it's synced on the device also, but the device is getting failed at the 50%. So we need to check that from the status or monitoring we'll get what is the app status of that application, and we can see what is the error code we have in that, and is it specific to one particular device, one particular OS, and which type of device type we have, any network connection issues. So these are all the things we need to check that. And even the device compliances, policy issues also, we need to check. So maybe PIN or maybe encryptions, those all we need to check. And the internet connectivity also maybe we need to check, or maybe the network connectivity is gone. On the client side, we may not have the permissions or storage related data storage wise, they don't have the enough storage. So these all also we need to check. So from the monitoring app, we need to get that error codes. So what exactly the problem, we need to see the error codes, we need to check that. From that, we'll understand what exactly the problem. And we need to review the deployment type also. Is it required or available? A lot of people will confuse by default that would be installed. So if it is required from uh, the user manually need to install it from the company portal. And even the device status also maybe again sync it once and check for the updates also. Then we'll again try to distribute those failed kind of things. And from the Intune iOS, we can check the logs from the company portal. We can check the company logs also. So for this, we need to troubleshoot these all the things we need to troubleshoot. Sometimes maybe timeout issues also we'll be getting. We need to increase that or timeout also we need to verify that. Okay, so then here we have employees leaving the company. Then how to wipe off the data. Say here where one employee is leaving the company. Then here we need to wipe off the data we need to wipe off. Okay, so that's a simple step. First we need to go to that device. We need to identify that device. Okay, so then in the devices we need to choose that either work profile or it's a company owned data. Mostly it would be the BYOD kind of device. Then here we need to choose like either wipe of the data or selective wipe or resetting all the options we need to select and retain also. Okay, so then mostly for the BYOD kind of devices, better to choose the retail. If you choose the retail, like it's going to reduce the personal data. If you choose the wipe, the wipe up is recommended for the corporate owned devices, all the data would be deleted. Okay, that means almost the device is coming into like a company factory settings, it is going to collect. Okay, so then here we have even selective wipe also we can choose. Like maybe our own corporate applications, those data, Outlook, OneDrive, Teams, that data only we are going to remove. Okay, so for the corporate data, we can choose either wipe or autopilot we are going to choose. For the BYOD kind of thing, either retail or selective wipe also we can choose. Okay, so with that we are going to keeping their personal data we are going to keep, and we need to secure the accounts also. That means from the Azure AD wise also for the users we need to block the sign in, and we need to revoke those MFA, all those also we need to revoke and remove from the groups and teams also we need to remove, and license wise also because it's mostly the user based license, we need to remove that license also. That's we can reuse with the other users. Then even we can enable Intune policies also for the data loss policies. On the device, we are not going to keep the data. Okay, so that's the best practice. Instead of using the complete wipe, it's recommended to use the retail or select wipe is the best option. Okay, so these we need to set up, and even this cloud migration we have already discussed in the last session. Then we'll go for advanced. So now here we have the hybrid Azure AD. Say we have a hybrid, say then local we have Active Directory, and Azure wise we have like a Entra ID we have. Then we need to join those devices with Intune. Okay, so that means first we need to install on the A device. We need to sync that to the Azure AD. We need to sync, and locally we have the Active Directory, and we need Azure AD, then Intune, Enter ID connect we required, then devices we need to join. Like first we need to configure our Enter ID connect, then we need to configure all the device options, all these we need to select. Then need to choose our forest, all these details also we need to select. Once we do that, say we need to check that uh, what are the policies we have for the Intune enrollment also. Automatic enrollment we need to choose if the device has been joined to AD or Enter ID. Automatically that device need to be enrolled, and we need to choose the MDM user scope. Then automatically, whenever the device has been joined to Enter ID or AD, automatically the devices are going to be joined to Entra ID. Sorry, to the Intune also it's going to be applied. Okay, so then we required internet access to the devices also is required to connect with Entra ID. They need the devices need to be connected. Uh, like if uh, uh, like we need to troubleshoot if the AD device is not joining. So suppose here we have a we have a AD device, we have set up the hybrid AD environment, and automatically enrollment process also we set up. But one of the problem we are getting is that AD device is not joining to the Intune. Okay, so then So here we have that device prerequisites, whether Windows 10 or Windows 11, that patch levels and the versions, all those are matching or not. And the AD level also, the device has been joined or not. And we need to check the licenses, whether we have the licenses are there or not for that Entra ID, and Intune wise also the licenses we need to check. And internet wise or Azure AD endpoints are able to connect or not also we need to confirm. Okay, so then synchronization has been done with Azure AD or not. Okay, so these all we need to check that, and even we need to check that like a status of that also, whether Azure AD joined, domain joined, all these also we need to confirm. And from the Azure portal wise also, like in the device enrollment for that, whether we have enabled automatic enrollment is there or not, and we need to check the like firewall settings on that device wise also, maybe blocking with the Azure AD endpoints also we need to check that. Okay, so and need to verify the event logs also, any enrollment errors we have, policy failures. So these also we need to check from the from the event viewer. Okay, so that's maybe license related, or device limits may be exceeded, or firewall may be blocking that issue, or the device may be already enrolled to other Intune kind of things. So these all the things we need to check in the hybrid environment. If you have any issues with the joining to the Intune or Azure AD kind of things, we need to check. Okay, so now here we have for the Android devices, we have the shared device mode for, say even we use for the Play Store, like Android Enterprise itself, uh, we use. So now here we have like what is that shared device mode for Android device. Okay, so that's like maybe for the company owned devices itself, we have like a kiosk devices, point of sales devices, or maybe for the call center or classroom kind of devices, where multiple users itself will share that single device. Say suppose you go to a kiosk kind of device or point of sales device, billing device, so multiple people are going to use that device. That device we are registered as the shared device model. Like while choosing our enrollment, we are not choosing as a work profile kind of model. Our company owned, we are not choosing. So here we are going to use with the fully managed device itself, or dedicated device or kiosk mode we are going to choose while enrolling those devices. Okay, and even in the profile wise also we are going to create those profiles. Okay, and we are going to enable shared device mode, we are enabling for that, and even we can choose the maximum number of users that device can be accessed. So with this, we are going to choose the enrollment process. Then all the applies, all those are going to be set up. And whenever the user log into that device, if it is a company device, we are going to give even the Azure AD credentials also we can give. And automatically once the user sign out, that data is going to be log off to that, because multiple users can access that data. Then once the user log out, to the next users, that device is ready. So while configuring these features, we can choose multiple users per device, how many we can choose, and automatic data removal also, like when the user sign off, that's going to happen. And app management also we can perform for this kind of shared device mode. For that kiosk, these kind of devices we are going to perform. Okay, so this is called a shared device model. And here already we discussed a full wipe. For the corporate owned devices, we can choose the full wipe. But for the BYOD kind of devices, instead of say suppose choosing the full wipe, maybe some legal issues also we may have. That is the reason we need to wipe off only the selective applications like our own corporate applications only we are going to choose. So now here, if you choose the full wipe, like it's going to be reset to factory reset. All the application data, all that like a device data also we are going to choose. So if any of the devices lost or stolen, or if the device is compromised, then better to perform this one. And all the data is going to be removed, and it's going to be reset to the factory reset. But if it is a BYOD kind of data, only our own corporate applications data, email profiles, and like what are the policies we have, only these we need to choose. Okay, so maybe his own personal device the user has been used. So for that user no longer want to use that device. At that moment, we need to choose this. Like selective app we need to select. So now here full wipe and selective wipe also, and even retire also is one of the option we have. So it depends upon that requirement. We need to select which mode we need to choose. Okay, so if I choose the full wipe, all the apps and their data is going to be removed. But whereas if you use selective wipe, only our corporate data itself is going to be performed. Okay, so that's we can do either retain option or selective wipe. For BYOD, this is better. For the MDM wise, if it is a corporate device, wipe we are going to use. Okay, so that is the like differences. Then here we need to deploy like a security baselines also we need to deploy. Okay, so how we are going to deploy those kind of security baselines also we need to set up. So those security baselines are nothing but we have the security standards or templates we have, and those best practices we need to deploy on the devices. So now here we have integrated with the Microsoft Defender also for that, and Windows 10 security baselines. These all we can set up. So for this, we are going to use the endpoint manager, and from the endpoint manager security baselines, we need to choose that profile, like what are the settings we required, all those, and from that endpoint manager, we are going to set up. Okay, so those already inbuilt templates also is available for the Windows or Microsoft level or from the endpoint level, and we need to review those baseline updates, and we need to apply on the devices. Okay, so that's like a step here while performing these steps. The first we need to go to endpoint manager. In the endpoint security, we need to create security baselines, and we have the different templates are available in in that baseline templates. Say some of them for the Windows 10 or 11 or Defender antivirus baselines or Edge baselines. These all pre-configured settings we have. Even those we can customize as per our requirements, then review those settings, then those firewall security features, all that we need to assign. Then that need to be assigned to the users or devices. We need to choose that groups, then like we need to deploy. Okay, then if any of the complaints of the device has been not matching, then those we are getting as a non-compliance kind of device. So this we are going to perform from the endpoint admin center, we can manage Microsoft Endpoint Manager. You can log in with the same account itself. From this, try to explore these policies. Okay, so then here we need to handle the zero trust device compliance. Say suppose we need to uh, we need to enforce zero trust compliance to the devices. Then we need to perform how to handle that zero trust device compliance. So we need to use the device compliance policies, conditional access policies, and the multi-factor authentications geographically identifying the risk of the device, and continuously monitoring by creating the conditional access and the compliance policies, encryptions and passwords are required for the device, minimum OS versions, and device shouldn't be jailbroken or rooted kind of devices, and even security policies also for the threat kind of detection. With all these policies, we are going to enforce we are going to enforce like a zero trust. And if any of the devices are coming into non-compliance also, we need to send the email notifications to the devices and up to date perform the application patches and OS patches. And we need to rotate the keys and block the access if the devices are non-compliance. Then wipe or retain the data if the device is stolen or if the employee left the job. So these all we need to enforce in our company. And we need to integrate even with Azure AD and Microsoft Defender for endpoint. Uh, these all we need to enforce. And always we need to review the compliance reports also and provide the least privilege access to the devices. Least privilege access also we need to provide to the devices. So with this we can enforce zero trust device policy. Okay, so then here how we are going to like the say maybe what are the components we have, like how the device enrollment is going to be is going to be happen with the Intune. So now here people may ask us the high level architecture of like Intune. So now here, what are the components we have in the Intune means? So mostly this is a cloud-based endpoint itself, like it's a SaaS-based kind of thing. So now we have the device management and application MAM kind of thing, then compliances and conditional check, integration with the Azure AD. Then at the user level, we'll have the user devices, and on that we have the company portal also may be there. Then in the middle, we have Azure AD for the conditional access, and we can integrate even with the Microsoft 365 and Teams, cloud apps also we are going to integrate. On-premises also will have on-premises resources like a local AD, we have Windows devices, Exchange server, SharePoint, file servers, VPN, all those we are going to set up. From the Intune wise for the architecture, we can tell device management, app management, company policies, and the security baselines. So these are the things say we are going to set up. Then, like even in the group policies also, like we are getting like a group policy level conflicts we have. Okay, so then like here in Intune also we are going to apply the policies. Then how to conflicts, like if any of the conflicts are coming between the policies on the same user and same device, we have applied the policies. We need to apply like from the conflict reports, we need to get what exactly the policies we have applied and which settings have been applied on the user. We can check that from the device status, and in the device status we can check the conflicting settings. So which profile names we have used and how many devices are affecting, what are those settings, some password related, or we may have like Wi-Fi settings, VPN settings, security baselines. So we need to remove those which are the conflict least priority one, better to remove. Okay, so always the rule is what is the latest apply policy, always that is going to be reflected. Means we have a old policy and new policy and we have a conflict of that. Always the new policy is going to be applied. Okay, so those we need to check in the device configuration. What are the assigned profiles we have and what are the same settings we have, that's we need to remove. And the precedence also, which are what are the settings are going to be applied to those users. That's also we are going to be set up. Okay, so from this we need to manage uh, those those kind of restrictions also. We need to restrict those, and even we need to use a proper naming conventions, and we need to apply that in that staging environment first to test them, and use the baselines also, like security baselines. These kind of things, if you follow, then we can resolve this kind of like conflicts on the policies level. Okay, so then like here we have how the Intune data flow with the like um, Azure AD wise and Intune wise, and like maybe the endpoints also, like here like that Android kind of device, all these also how it's going to be enrolled. So now here we have on the endpoint side, we have Windows, iOS, Android devices. Then with the Microsoft Intune, those have been enrolled. And we have the like a device, the device verification or identify verification, conditional access, multi-factor authentication, risk policies, all these are going to be verified. Then once the device has been enrolled to Intune, all the device data is sent to sent to that to the Intune, and then Intune will check that profiles and security baseline on the device, and will collect all that reports, whether that success or failure also to the Intune. So then here we are going to check the compliance check also. Like we need to check the company policies like encryptions, PIN, antivirus, like all that compliance also is going to check that. Once it verifies that details, Azure AD verifies that the user credentials, all this, and the risk levels also based on the policies. And if the device have been evaluated as a compliance wise, then it's going to like a decision is going to be taken to that apps, and to the cloud-based apps also is going to provide the access. Then, if the device is non-compliant, then is going to be blocked that, or maybe like a limited access is going to be provided. And then that's a continuously is going to be happening. Is going to be evaluate the risk and compliance is also, it will be continuously checking all these is going to happen. Okay, so like this, here that like that the flow is going to happen. Like that the communication is going to be happen with all this. So suppose whenever the device endpoint enrollments, Intune will have the configuration policies, compliance policies, app deployment, security baselines, then with Azure AD-wise identity verification, conditional access, MFA, all those we have, then is going to grant or block the access. Based on that, is going to give the apps or to the cloud data is going to be happening. So based on the compliance and identity, is going to take the decisions, and even after giving the access also, is continuously is going to monitor those. It's continuously is going to monitor those. Okay, so now here we need to design Intune solution. So suppose for our company, we need to provide the Intune solution with the global regions we have, and even different compliances, different devices we have. Those all we need to uh, we need to design. Say suppose here we need to design an Intune solution also. So first we need to understand whether we have a single tenant or multi-tenant kind of things. First we need to identify, and with Azure AD we need to integrate, and license models also we need to choose, and how we are going to group that users and devices, that grouping strategies we need to select, and even dynamic AD groups also. And we need to select the company the compliance policies also, like baseline policies, all these we need to select. Then we need to check that like a configuration profiles also. So what are the configuration policies? All these also we need to set up. Then like how the enrollment process and compliances, conditional access, monitoring, reporting. So these all we need to set up. So based on this, we need to design the Intune solution for our enterprise. Then here, like here we have the service throttling and like a policy refresh cycle. Say suppose here we are going to refresh like a policy new settings have been applied. How that is going to work in the Intune. Say suppose we set up that throttling is like how the load is going to be managed. So we have some thousands of devices are enabled, and we have lot of policies are applied. So those large number of devices we have, then these throttling settings will comes into the picture. Okay, so now, like here, what is that default durations will check for the Windows 10, like every 8 hours, like the device, like a check-in is going to happen. That means manual sync is possible, but the default time is for every 8 hours. For Android also, it's going to be like 8 hours. Otherwise, if the user can sync, or maybe like we can have a MDM kind of push notifications also we can have. Okay, but otherwise, what is the by default time is 8 hours we can choose. But if you have any updates are there, those can be pushed immediately by syncing. Okay, and whenever the device contacts the Intune, Intune evaluates what are the policies have been applied, and those policies can be delivered. That's whenever the manually the sync is going to happen, that's going to be happen automatically. Otherwise, user need to perform manually, that need to be performed. Okay, if you enable any restrictions on this kind of throttling settings, the main challenge what the user is getting is app installations are getting delayed, and even like in the some of the devices would be in the pending state. Okay, if you want it need to be enabled done fastly, then we need to go to company portal and manually sync in for the force kind of check-in kind of things. We need to check that. Okay, so these perform, like we need to use, and by default the time is 8 hours is the duration for that. Okay, so default check-in times we check here, that is default 8 hours. Manually the device can be done, and here Azure AD wise, like that can be controlled from the Intune device we can manage. Okay, so local AD devices also can be applied. That compliance, all those we need to check. If it is Azure AD or Entra ID means directly the device has been joined to the Entra ID device wise itself. Okay, then like we need to perform a transition. See, we have it like a hybrid model. Uh, but now we need to manage it from the from the AD wise itself. We need to specify. That means we no need to perform again the reimaging. So first device compliance we need to check, and the user should have the licenses. All the prerequisites need to be done, and we need to check that status whether it is locally AD is connected. Then we need to identify what are the apps and all those. Then that need to be removed from the hybrid join. Means on-premises AD we need to remove, and we need to rejoin the device to Azure AD itself. We need to rejoin. So like this on-premises resources we want to remove, and we want to migrate to the Azure AD itself. At that moment, without reimaging the devices, we are going to like a transition that image without performing that. So that's we need to test that before in the staging environment itself. We need to check, and like we need to check the policies also. Is there any effect on the profile, or security wise, re-login wise, any issues are there also we need to check. And all the backup also, local profile backups, all those also we need to take that. And if the device having any local group policies, those also we need to remove, because with the Intune we may get that kind of conflicts. But if you are doing large scale kind of devices, we need to use autopilot kind of things. We need to check that. Okay, so these all like we need to perform. Okay, so then so we need to configure multi-stage environment for the shared device. So now here we need to set up a multi-stage enrollment for a shared device. We need to set up. So already we discussed shared devices means kiosk kind of devices. All that we need to set up. Then we need to understand for what is the purpose of that device, and any users, which type of users we have, and that profile we need to choose. Then once we choose that enrollment process, like first we need to choose that first one is the normal settings. Second one is like when the user sign in, what are the user specific apps, all this need to happen. And when the user sign off, what are the things need to happen. All these we need to set up. So that means in the stage one, like with the provisioning of the device enrollment, all that. But once the user log into that shared device, what is the things need to happen, what are the apps need to be delivered, and like user specific apps also need to download. But first level, we have only the device level. Then once the user log in, his own apps need to be delivered. Then once the user sign off, like all those like user data need to be removed. Automatically that data need to be removed, and the device need to be set for the next level that need to be done. Okay, so these kind of profiles we need to choose, for the shared devices we need to set up. Okay, so shared devices we need to enroll for the like kiosk for these devices we are going to set up. Okay, so then say here wipe after that kind of security policies also explore, mostly we have 90 days for that, by default that wipe of the data is going to happen if that inactivity of the device for the last devices. For this would be most useful. So that kind of life cycle based security policies also we can enforce it. Okay, say based on the conditions, it's going to be applied those settings. So here we need to use that these policies need to be done. Say like devices in the usage or non-usage wise, or like device registration wise, and threat protection wise. So based on these conditions, like in the conditional access, we are going to provide like a the security baselines, all this we can enforce in that. Okay, so that is the life cycle based policies we can apply. Okay, so that's also like a different policies we have related to security for all those. So now first we need to define that device or user lifecycle stages, whether it's in the enrollment or use level or retirement level or update level. Based on these securities, we need to configure the policies. Okay, and that policies need to be applied to the users. Okay, so then automatically we can assign the lifecycle management also. Automatically move that OS version or like a check-in time are not used. Automatically those kind of licenses can be applied to the user. So based on that, how the user is changing the status, automatically the policies also is going to change. Okay, if it is in the active use, some policies will be applied, or if that is in update, the device is in the update kind of state, or any change state, some policies will be applied. And if it is in the decommission, automatically some policies can be applied. So based on these, we can choose the life cycle based security compliance policies also we can apply on the users. So remaining we have a lot of things. Okay, so these things we'll check in the next session. Okay, so try to explore from these, go through these questions and explore again from the policies. All those just check once and try to apply on the device. If the device is not enrolled, also try to again check these from the Intune admin center. Try to check once. Okay.